Right, now I'm not even going to lie to you. Salamence VMAX Welder was a boring deck. I just found myself wanting to play Center Scorch every time I played it. But let me tell you now, Porygon Z, getting that crazy code, getting Dubwool, getting Cramorant on the go. Now this is a fun deck. Roll to the intro. So like I said in the intro, whenever I played Welder Salamence, I literally just found myself thinking, Center Scorch is doing this more fun and better. And actually, after chatting with Joe from Omnipoke and Gyro Sean in our post-format discussions, link below, he put me onto the fact that Porygon Z might actually be the best way to play Salamence, just because you get use of all the bonkers energy that Salamence, you know, can make use of. And even if you're playing Porygon Z, stuff like Capture Energy really helps to shore up those weaknesses that a Stage 2 deck would otherwise normally have. Make stuff like Twin Sonic super powerful, Max Rays I think it's called, Max Wing, sorry, and then you've got stuff like Dubwool and Cramorant, which are super good auxiliary attackers as well. So let's get into it. So we start off with 3 Salamence VMAX. Okay, it's going to be awkward. I still haven't got used to this new recording setup. But yeah, you got 3 Salamence VMAX, 2 terrific attacks. I guess the first one everyone's looking at is the Max Wing. For 4 energy, you do 240, and this Pokemon can't use Max Wing during his next turn. Good numbers, but you know, with stuff like powerful, what is it? Powerful Color Energy, I think it's called. That has 20 for each one attached. You can get this in the 260, 280 range. You know, 280 is one shot in an ADP, which is scary to think about. But Twin Sonic as well is actually sneakily good. Don't sleep on this attack. For 1 energy, you do 40 to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon, any of them. So you can either do 40 on 2 benches. That's very good. You know, if your opponent's playing like a setup deck that's too slow to evolve, you can just ping them off right over 2 turns. But what this lets you do, number 1, is clean up missed KO. So let's say you've hit someone with a Max Wing, they retreat to the bench, throw up something else. You can be like, no. You can retreat into a new Salamence VMAX, attach 1 energy, and just ping them. That's the first thing. But also what this is good for is if you haven't quite got the 4 energy attached, with the powerful energy, you can start slamming the active for really big damage. If you have 2 attached, you're doing 80 to the active and then 40 somewhere else. Really good little attack, and I find myself using that an awful lot when I play this deck. Similarly, with Salamence V, I find myself using its top attack quite a lot as well. Basic Pokemon 220 HP. The attack I use the most is called Transflight. This attack does 30 to all your opponent's Pokemon. Again, really good for clean up missed KOs. You can sort of set up checkmate multi-price scenarios. If you like hit 2 things with the Max Wing, and then you can just try and clean them all up with the Transflight, super strong. Again, if you've got powerful energy attached, you hit more to the active, and then you can also do 4 for 160 with Heavy Storm. That's not very good, like, but so far out of 4 attacks we've seen from this deck, 3 are like super good. So that's what else have we got? Well, to power them up, we're using a 3-3 Porygon Z line. Porygon Z, stage 2 Pokemon with a crazy ability, pun intended. Crazy ability, crazy code. You can attach as many special energy as you like during your turn. So with an open-ended ability like that, is absolutely like the directions you could take a Porygon Z deck are insane. You can go like an Aurora-based route. You know, you got the fire energy, you got all sorts you can do. But for now, we're just going to play all the colorless ones, and don't believe there's some bonkers ones. The reason we're playing a 3-3 over something like a 4-3, which I would always champion, even a 4-4, is because we get Capture Energy. Capture Energy, we'll get onto that later, but if you attach a Capture Energy to any of your Pokemon, you can like get 1 basic out of the deck, put it on your bench. So ideally, turn 1 going first, if we haven't got the Quick Ball for Porygon, we haven't got it in hand, we can just attach Capture Energy to our Salamence, bring out the Porygon, happy days. That being said, you know, is a stage 2 deck. I really like consistency. I'm already being a little bit cheeky playing a 3-3. I wouldn't mind playing a 4th Porygon Z. It sounds crazy, but or even a 4-4, just to make sure we can always hit that Porygon Z nice and early. But you know, with attacks like Transflight and even our triple acceleration energy, we're not actually like super reliant on getting the Porygon Z out turn 2. Like Transflight with a power range is enough just chip to where you can finish him off on turn 3 potentially with a Max Win, provided you're still alive. So not super imperative to get out. Obviously you want to get out as soon as possible, but once you do, you can do some silly stuff, let me tell you. Right, let's go on to our auxiliary attackers. Starting off with one Cramorant V. Now, because we can play Recycle Energy, this makes the spit shot super crazy. So, like, the Dene, for example, that's just deleted. That's gone. If you manage to get off, what's it called? What's the the first energy attack on Salamence VMAX? You can like bing 2 Crobats, or like bing a Crobat, finish him off with this, or if you've done a Transflight with Salamence V, you can just start picking and choosing with your Cramorant V. And obviously, because normally you have to discard all the energy, if you've got 3 recycles, you can just keep going over and over again. So Cramorant's super good for late game cleanup. Awesome attacker. Ooh, sorry about that. Awesome attacker, right? Absolutely insane. And then one Pokemon I haven't seen any Porygon Z list play for some unknown reason, Dubwool V. I love a bit of Dubwool. Dubwool's insane. I almost want to play some big charms just for him. Because Dubwool, like, let's say they KO'd a Salamence VMAX, right? If you start lopping on some powerful energies onto this Dubwool and combine it with a stamp, this Dubwool is quite scary. Like, you know what I mean? And the more prizes they take, if you can make him KO a Salamence VMAX, then a Cramorant, and then come swinging with this Dubwool with like a Marnie or a stamp, you are hitting some seriously strong damage, okay? With his ability, he's taking less damage as well. I'm a real big fan of Dubwool, I really am. So I think you're bonkers not to play one. I actually love it. It's got me out of so many sticky situations. So yeah. Then we got one Oranguru as well. We can attack with this. The main reason we're playing it is because we are stage 2 deck. We're going to need a little bit of extra dig. You've got no way of searching for energies also. So Primate Wisdom will, number one, let us search for energies. Let us try and find our rare candies and all that good stuff. And Porygon Z's as well. And then we play one Dedenne, one Crobat just to help us draw through. Might be tempted to go like a double Dedenne route. In fact, that's how it actually started. I played 2 Dedennes, but I found myself sometimes you really just need to dig for energy. You might need to go for like the Crobat into the Dedenne turn. That happens quite a lot, in which case you're happy to have the spit, because obviously you can't Crobat twice and you can't Dede change twice. So in that scenario, having one of each is perfect. Okay. For Professor's Research, I shouldn't have to explain that. Like, we're stage 2, we need to get stuff, we need to evolve, we need to find our energies. Research is absolutely perfect for that, so that's why we play 4 of those. We then play 4 Marnie, giving us a little bit of disruption and stuff like this, and giving us extra draw. I guess Marnie has almost come into that sort of Cynthia S slot from our format now, where it's like your secondary draw supporter, and it's not bad, you know, it's not too crazy. I like having Ericas in there as well, which is why we'll get to that in a sec. 2 Boss's Orders. Now I would love a 3rd, I really would, because we can be so manipulative with our damage counter spread that we can really want to just pick what we want. Space is an issue though. If you find yourself wanting a 3rd boss, like I'm all for that. I just feel as if you've got some really harsh cuts if you do. Maybe like one of the 3rd Salamence VMAX, for example, that could be a cut for another boss. But for now I'm 1 and 2, and it seems fine. And then, like I said earlier, I like Ericas a lot in this format. It's so strong. You know, just potentially drawing 6 up to everything else. And against the Turners, we're just like banging. We're drawing so many, so I'm a big fan of Ericas. If you want to make the list a little bit more aggressive, you could even play 2 Ericas and cut a Marnie, but for now this is where I'm at. Let's go on to the items. 4 Quick Ball. Again, you know, even though we have got Capture Energy to fall back on, it's 4. I think you always play 4 Quick Ball. Finds Crobat, finds Dedenne, finds Dubwool, finds Cramorant, finds Salamence. I don't think there's any reason in this deck to not play 4 Quick Ball, even with Capture Energy. It just means your Capture Energies can find your Porygons and stuff like this, or your attackers, and that frees up your Quick Balls, so you're always going to have 4 in deck, hopefully, and that will find you Dedenne or Crobat when you need them. Nice mixed artworks there on the Pokecoms. Now you could play like a split, 2 Com, 2 Evo Incense. Pokecom finds everything though. Obviously you've got a stipulation, you need to have multiple Pokemon in your hand, or at least 1 Pokemon in your hand I should say. But that's fine, we play like, we played like 18 I think, I could be wrong. But Pokecom, is going to find us our Porygon Z, find us our Salamence VMAX, it finds everything. So I think you have to play 4 as well. 4 rare candy. If someone can sort me out with another Heart Gold Soul Silver rare candy, so I don't have to do stuff like this. We're a stage 2 deck. You know, we want to get Porygon Z out as early as possible, so 4 rare candy, you know, is a staple in that regard. Now, 3 switch. It was 4. I feel as if I had to cut it. Oh my lord, because I'm not playing stuff like Jirachis and stuff like this. I didn't feel like I really needed 4. Obviously, having some switch to fall back, I've seen some lists like go down as like none or like just 1 air balloon. But at the end of the day, you know, if we do want to max wing twice and we can't move out the active, you know, it would be a bit annoying. Now, it is worth noting though, with recycle energy, you can sort of have really good board movement. If you've got loads of recycle energy attached to your active, you can just pay retreat. They'll come straight back to hand. You can promote your new attack or whatever you want to do and just reattach them with Porygon Z. So that's why I feel is if you can go down to a free switch count, maybe even 2, if you want to really lean into that aspect of the deck. But for now, starting point list, I think 3 switch is perfectly fine. Then you play 1 reset stamp, okay? Now, I really wanted to keep 2 reset stamps. You know, looking at this list now, I might want to cut 1 switch for a second stamp, just so we can really lean into that into that Dubwool, okay? Really make that Dubwool a big threat. And, you know, stamp in this format, a lot of decks aren't really playing it. It's still a super strong effect. Like, if they KO with VMAX, if you can respond KO with a stamp, super scary. So I wouldn't mind a second. I find myself, it might just get thrown away early game if you only got the 1. But you know, space. I would try and fit a second stamp. Second stamp and third boss are probably my like 61st, 62nd card for sure. And then we got 1 chaotic swell. There's not many stadiums to run in this deck really. I think chaotic swell is the one that springs to mind. You know, you don't need to run 2. 1's fine. You don't want to run no stadiums because stuff like Black Market can stick around forever, which is absolutely scary. Or Wonder Lab that Center Scorch might be playing as well. So I think 1 chaotic swell is fine. Just, you know, lock them out of their Prism Stars for the most part. Now let's go on to these crazy energy that we can play, so we can attach all of them. So we got 4 the powerful colorless energy. Ignore the proxy on screen. When it's attached to a colorless Pokemon, its attack does an extra 20 more to the active. So that makes the 1 energy attack on Salamence brutal and really efficient. It makes the max wing start hitting tag team numbers, which is nice. It makes the Dubwool just start spiraling out of control if we've got multiple of these attached. Doesn't do much to Cramorant. It's worth noting with Cramorant as well, beat catches, if you lead it and you go for that, you can almost guarantee your Porygon Z every time turn 2, which is pretty nice, provided you got Porygon out. So yeah, powerful colorless energy is super cool, and being able to just slam them all into play, which is super cool, which is something the Welder version just can't do. So having access, just throw these around, super nice. And another sort of awesome energy that we get to play now as well, if you can't over Welder version, is the capture. Again, making our deck just so much more consistent, right? Being able to just ping out the Porygons when we need them, bring out our Dubwool, which I've done quite a few times, or the Cramorant. Just a super cool energy. It's one of those energies that I wish you could play in more decks. It just helps the deck tick over so much more easier, but you just can't in other decks. But this is a deck is almost perfect. So yeah, we play 4 of them. Then we play 4 recycles. Again, these are super cool. When they're attached, whenever they get discarded from play, you can just put them back in your hand. So if you pay retreat, back into the hand. If you have to pay, you can't do it in this, I guess with Cramorant I should say, sorry. If they're discarded from effect of an attack, put them back in your hand. So again, giving you really good board movement, giving your Cramorant multiple split shots of it potentially, or you know, you do the split shot, get energies back, and you go straight into your next attacker. Super strong. Recycle energy is nuts. And then 2 triple accelerations. I wouldn't mind a third, but I think I've been getting away with 2 quite nicely. What this will let you do is fulfill 3 energy cost on your Salamence VMAX for 1 turn. It discards itself after. So you can just sort of spring that max wind out of nowhere, or whatever it's called, which is super nice. Again, 3 would be kind of cool. Maybe you can cut, I don't know, 1 capture for a third triple acceleration. Don't mind that. One energy that I really wanted to try and mess around with, just because it sounds really bonkers, but I couldn't quite fit it in, was draw energy. If you can find room for that, if you want to give that one a go, just so you can start seeing crazy amount of cards in the turn, that could also be quite fun as well, but alas, I couldn't fit it in. So let me know what you think of Salamence VMAX Porygon Z. Let me tell you, it's so much fun to play. I really think it could be one of the best Stage 2 decks I've got in this next format, maybe outside like a Decidueye-esque build. And I just love playing it, and I think there's something to be said as well for just enjoying the game. You know what I mean? Just enjoying the game, and with it being like, you know, a super good attacker as well. But let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. As always, if you're after more Darkness Ablaze content, make sure to check the playlist out in the description. I've been putting out 1 Darkness Ablaze video for the most part, at least once a day. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.